When you think about Devil May Cry, you probably think about fast-paced action, cool combos, and even cooler characters. And that's generally true. You can find some of that in every game of the series. Except DMC2, you suck. And while the general experience may change from game to game, you can also find drastically different experiences in the same game with the use of different characters. Take dmc4 for example, the game with the most playable characters and the one with the character I want to talk about today, Lady. She's a very unique character. She has a very different playstyle than anything else up to the point in the series. She's a gunslinger in a world full of sword masters. And while being different doesn't inherently mean being bad, I think there are a lot of areas in which she feels less competent than the other characters. Like, for example, her melee attacks. They are slow. Very slow. The slowest on charge attacks in the game, which is balanced out by some very high damage, at least in theory. In practice, I don't really think it makes up for how unsafe they are to use, especially against bosses. You're gonna have a hard time trying to use these attacks against them. She has a simple 3-hit combo, an aerial 3-hit combo, a spinning attack, a falling to the ground type of attack, and a grenade throw. Yeah, that's part of her melee moveset. That's it. She has only 5 melee moves and doesn't have some basic utility moves like traditional launchers or gap closing ones. So you would think that since she doesn't have a lot of physical attacks, she would at least have a ton of moves with her guns, right? Yeah, all of her guns have one basic shot, a charge shot that can go up to 3 levels, doing massive damage when fully charged, and 2 special abilities similar to Dante's Gunslinger style. The cool part about this is that those special abilities are in a different button than her normal shots, so she can still use her guns while charging the attacks. Something other similar characters like Nero can do. Though this doesn't apply to Kalina Ann. You can do anything else while charging that one, but the damage is massive to compensate. Her pistols work like blue rose. You can rapid fire or charge them for a powerful shot, and the higher charge levels are an explosion too. While her special abilities are similar to Ebony and Ivory, she can quickly fire a ton of bullets forward or fire the 2 guns in different directions. This one starts with a shot up that can be used as a launcher, something Lady really lacks otherwise. The shotgun is a stronger version of Dante's. The normal and charge shots work the same way, good damage from up close but not too much from mid-range and longer. Its attacks are really strong when charged up to level 3 and becomes one of, if not, her strongest move for sure distances. She also has Gunstinger, which works as her only gap closer, but it's probably the worst one due to its low range and high ending lag. Regardless, it is still very useful in many situations and even has a follow-up for even more damage, with the negative that it sends you back when you're far away yet again. The other move is a stronger version of Fireworks. It can be used in the air, but you can manage to extend it for a long time. Kalina Ann is her most unique weapon. It can fire a missile. When charged, the missile gets significantly stronger and the explosion radius increases, making it very useful when a boss is stunned and gives you enough time to full charge it, because it will fucking delete their health bar. Among its special abilities we have Hysteric, a move where she plants the weapon on the ground and starts firing little missiles with no care for anybody. Sadly, the move is quite a slow one, doesn't go very far, but can be very effective in close spaces. The other move lets you lock onto enemies and fire multiple homing missiles at them. I find this move in particular to be really cool, and think it could have a lot of combo potential if it wasn't as slow as it is. That's the thing with Kalina Ann in general. It is very strong, but takes a lot of time to set up, making it a lot more situational than the other 2 weapons. Her other special ability is the wire action. It can be used to launch enemies that are far away or slam them against the ground if they were already airborne. Helps to compensate for the lack of traditional launchers, but I wouldn't recommend using it up close, since it's very slow for that use. And talking about this move, it reminds me of my next point. Lady doesn't have a way to quickly get to the enemies or bring them to her, and that last one is especially infuriating, because I can understand her not being able to chase people like Dante and Virgil. They have super speed while she's just a regular human and all that, but she also can grab enemies? Really? I'm supposed to believe that a weapon that has a grappling hook, the same weapon that can grab enemies and send them up, and the same weapon that can bring enemies to you in DMC3, just can't do that here for some reason? And she would really appreciate any way to force interactions with the enemies. Because right now, when she has the enemy at this distance, the only thing she can do is shoot or use the wire. And yeah, that's her thing, she uses guns a lot. But all the other characters can shoot from far away while also being able to close the gap whenever they want, making Lady feel very limited in comparison. She also lacks basically any mobility option, which doesn't help her case. She doesn't have fast attacks to hit the enemies in front, doesn't have any special dodge variation like the Descendants of Sparta, and has almost nothing in the air either. She's lucky to have a double jump. It's at least a very unique one at that. And her DT is... well, it's not a DT. This is the burst attack, and it's what you saw. A big explosion around her. That's it. She can transform since she's a simple human, so they gave her this, and it is alright, I guess. It is less interesting than DT, but that doesn't mean it has no interesting uses. Yes, it may not give you healing or super armor, but it gives like the complete invulnerability for the duration of the move. And what I think is the more interesting part, it's a universal cancel. You can interrupt anything you're doing simply using this move, which really helps making a lot of her more slow moves safer to use, similar to Nero. Sadly, it is a worse cancel than Nero's DT for the simple reason that using it depletes all of your energy bar, unlike DT, which only costs a small amount to be activated, meaning that you won't get access to that cancel nearly as often as Nero does. I also wish she had other ways to use her meter, like Virgil. Right now, you only really need to think about it when you want to deal big damage or protect you in certain situations. It feels less nuanced than using DT a lot of the time. If I were to redesign the character, that's the first thing I'd change. I'd give her a special buff, but not a stats buff like everyone else has. No, I'd try to focus on her main gimmick, charge shots. I'd like to see a system where you can hold the DT button and, when you shoot, to get an instant fully charged move with whatever weapon you're using, for the cost of some meter. It could cost 2 bars for the guns, 3 for the shotgun, and 5 for the Kalina Ann. I think this system could help Lady feel a lot more dynamic by being able to change between strong and weak attacks depending on the situation, while also opening the door for constant decision making due to the cost of meter. It would make her their resource management character, someone who has to keep constant track of what they have to make the best use of their abilities, which seems very fitting for someone who relies entirely on guns. Though, if we were to take this route, we'll probably have to nerf the damage of those attacks because right now they're absolutely insane. Other changes I'd like to see: make Gunstinger dodge and jump cancelable. This one is a lot more simple. Cancelling out of her one movement option would give her a lot more potential to get close to the enemies or just move across the battlefield, and I'm sure the developers also think this because they give Dante his ability in dmc4, so it wouldn't have been impossible to do it here. You don't even need to make new animations for this, just make it so you can jump and evade before Lady fires her shot. That alone would do so much for the character. Make the homing missiles faster. I don't care if you reduce damage to compensate, I just really want to be using these movement combos more than what the game allows for right now. Give the wire the ability to pull enemies. It seems like something so obvious to me that I don't understand why it wasn't done. And that's all I can think of right now. I feel like these changes will still keep the general design direction the developers were going for, while compensating for the things the character struggles with. I don't mean to turn her into a rushdown character, I just think she's lacking a little too much in that department. And that's really where my opinions with this character go. She's very unique, and I appreciate that, but I feel like it came at the cost of her being very limited in anything but gunplay. But that's just my opinion. If you have a different perspective on the character or think someone else is the worst character of the game, feel free to share it in the comments. For now though, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Also, just give her own character theme. I'm so tired of hearing in both Nero's missions over and over again. What's next? Giving the same song for the entire campaign?